Hello everyone, my name is Roya, and this is take 2 of this video because the audio just randomly didn't record when I first filmed this video. So this is going to be really fast. This is the first time that I'm filming with an actual video camera, so hooray, I am a real YouTuber now. I'm actually using a video camera instead of just a webcam because in case you missed my last video, my computer died at a very inopportune moment. So anyway, so here are the books that I read in July, in the last half of July. This is a blessedly short video for one to, you know, kind of troubleshoot everything with this new camera. So anyway, we have Darkwater Daughter. This was actually really boring, unfortunately. I really wanted to like this book. I thought it was going to be really awesome because the idea was great, but overall the whole book was just really boring. I could just not get into this. There was just not enough depth to the story or to the characters. And unfortunately, it just fell really flat for me. There were parts that should have been really awesome, but because we just had so little character depth overall, it just really didn't work. Tarnished, this was another book that really fell flat for me. Basically, the issue with this one is that the main character had little bearing on the plot. The main character had nothing actually happen to her. It was about what happened to everyone else in the story, and therefore the entire story just didn't quite work. I don't know what it is about indie books that just are really disappointing lately, but this one was also, The Truth Spoken Air was also a gigantic letdown. This was probably the biggest letdown of all. This is probably the second worst or even possibly the worst book that I've read this year, and that does not mean it was necessarily bad because I haven't really read any bad books this year, mostly because I've DNF'd very liberally. But so basically this book follows two sisters, one of whom has to actually impersonate the other because they have shape-shifting abilities, and that is a common thing among the fancy noble people in this world. So the main issue I had with this book is that this does not appear to be the typical use of their being trained in this ability, but there isn't really a reason given as to why it is so important for the nobility to know how to do this, because it seems like it's not normally meant for impersonating your siblings when they're sick. So I didn't really understand what this book was doing or anything, and there were also a lot of characters in this book, and for such a short book to have that many characters, we obviously did not get to know very many of the characters at all, and a lot of the characters, it was like implied that they had something to do with the plot, but there just wasn't very much time with them, so anything that happened in this entire book was just really meh, and it was just okay. My probably best read of the year was The Sky Above Us, and that wasn't even really to say it was a great book or anything. In fact, this was probably a 3-star read, maybe a strong 3-star read. But this is about 3 boys who got into an airplane and crashed, seemingly on purpose, and 3 girls who are the sister of one of them, the ex-girlfriend of one of them, and the best friend of one of them, respectively, who are trying to find out what the heck happened and what they were doing. So there was a really good, you know, even though, so it's told in 6 perspectives, which is kind of a lot, but it worked pretty well. They were able to separate each of the different characters' personalities pretty well. Obviously, the 3 boys' perspectives were told in past, you know, before it happened, all of that. So we get a lot of alternating chapters, but they were put together in such a way as to move the plot forward in a way that really worked. You do kind of know exactly what happened, but still you can't help, you know, I couldn't help but like read, you know, keep reading and figuring out what the heck the deal was here. It was just really odd. It was just a really bizarre book, and it was really sad. There is obviously suicide involved in this, so I don't know, proceed with caution, I guess. it's definitely really, really sad at the end, especially. And finally, The Nightbirds. This was kind of disappointing in that, again, it was a book that could have had a lot more depth to it and actually make the story really good. This book tried to make points about the ways that women are treated in society and all of that, and the way that like certain men will just call women witches by default if they do anything, etc., etc. But it didn't really get enough into that to make it a good, you know, thing that made a good point. And then also, the world building was really not good. It really just kind of threw random items in there, like random different world building items to make it sound like unique, like this is not our world and stuff. Like just the words for stuff were something weird, that type of thing. And so I don't think that that necessarily was needed. I don't think that was enough to establish world building. It was like used as kind of a here's some world building, but it didn't really replace, you know, it was trying to replace proper world building with doing something, and it just didn't work. So anyway, those are the books that I read in the latter half of July. Let me know if you read any of these and have any thoughts on them, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that, you know, let me know what you think about this new camera setup I have going on here. I'm really just trying to work the kinks out. It's really hard to be looking at myself on a, you know, to the side of where I'm actually being captured instead of like right below it or something like that, like I was before. So this is just really, you know, this is a learning curve for sure. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon. Bye.